I just want you to hear me out, whether you like me or not is not the issue. Personalities aside, the issue is this. I grew up on that street over there, Ashland Street. Was born and raised here. The issues you have here are very serious issues. Values, there's 4 people live around here that'll be blown away, they'll be gone. This is not as much as you take it as historical side. I used to be a public safety officer. I have documents that I was going to produce the other night on this television show that I couldn't get in. From 10 years of documents, 200 accidents. Now that's in the last 10 years. They never did a true traffic study here, meaning a true traffic study in our business means what it will be like when it's here. They did it what it's like now. Not a true here. We all can argue that argument, the historical argument. They don't care about that. But what they care about is the first kid that gets hit by a car, that city is home. What my opinion to you folks is now. This administration does not like controversy. That's why they're not here. A true mayor would be here tonight and saying, look, I see this many people, there's got to be something wrong. They don't like controversy. If you can get this many people together, and if Susan rallied this many people together as she has, we need to do it one day. It has to be in the daytime, after work would be fine, preferably rush hour. Because I'll tell you right now, if they build that school and a dog got killed out there, you'd have channel 4, 5, and 7 down here in a blink. If it's a kid, you'll be down here in a blink. What we got to do is organize the same group, the same effort here. We've got to get out in front of City Hall, not the park. It's too big of an area. Hear about the fact that some kid's going to get killed going from the Newland Street project across Route 60 to go to the Roosevelt. They only care about new people going away. Well, if you don't go away that way, if you pick at City Hall just one day, you give them a half an hour with the media there, that'll do more damage to the administration than he has to think twice. Because you put it on record, you have an attorney there, let them know that if one of our children, let it be one of ours or anyone else's, gets harmed at one of these intersections where it's already documented. How can he walk away from a public document? He can't. Right there, they're not in the Malden Square. They'll have the media. What happens is we sit here, they have a bad accident, no problem. I'll tell you right now, people go by here 50, 60 miles an hour. They consider it when they call it traffic.
She went to the hearing for us. She interviewed for us. She's a person that you can call on the school committee, and then we can try to bring the other school committees in. We have school committees. We've got Bill Mitty, we've got the newly elected Joe Donahue. We want to try to go after an appeal or not. I'm not making that decision. Everybody has to decide on their own, and everybody's got to know they're putting $50 up, and that's what it's supposed to be.
What about sitting around?
Well, we have to get a good call everybody on the lot today.
What about sitting around petitions on the house?
That's fine. That's fine. Okay, but the other thing is, I need about 6 volunteers that want to come to my house Monday night on a conference call with the attorney, because I want other people to hear what he has to say, because I am not going to lead anybody to false hope. So, everybody here, I only want about 6 people because I want you to know.
If everybody can be there Wednesday, be here at 4 o'clock on Wednesday. Give me a time of anybody on the phone. We need this many people. Well, and if that's the case, if you don't know that, well, it's fine. I'll be here tomorrow. But it's up to you folks. Monday, we can do it Monday. It's okay with me. But the only reason I said Wednesday is because we can organize on a Monday at 4 o'clock. If everybody can be here, Monday at 4 o'clock, we'll march from here to City Hall. I'll call the media over the weekend. I'll be in charge of getting you the media. If we find out that they're gonna put up a fence Monday, be here Monday. Anybody can, if they're gonna put up a fence here, be here anyway. But you get, that's a good idea. Then Thursday afternoon, it can be Wednesday when we can all assemble for the school. That's all the better because when we meet Tuesday night, we'll make sure we're all ready to go Wednesday, and then Wednesday we're all ready to go Thursday.
All right.
You don't have to talk, just your numbers alone make the difference. Hold on for a second. Hold on for a second.
People want to come to my house, give their name, cash voice for the conference call with the attorney. And remember what I told you about the appeal. The chances of winning are basically nil. So if you want to go forward, he's willing to do it, so you have to make that law yourself.
What do you say?
What if the car's on another street?
No, they will go through that road. Malden Center.
They may not build houses like this out there. So, there's no parking. Well, you know, Howard got it.
How you doing?
Hi, how are you, sir?
Are you taping that for yourself?
Yeah, for myself.
Can I, give me my card and maybe... Yeah, it's just like the 60. Everybody have a sign? The Jeep Wagoneer over here, we have a sign for you.
Oh, so I
you have. This is your city. Funds to build these schools, and they're the ones getting shortchanged by the school being relocated. I'm not here to tell you people any of those things or several others. What we're here to do today is tell you one issue. We've got to save Ferryway Green because it's the wrong thing to do. Roughly 20 years ago, another mayor that had a lot of vision, a fellow that hired me back in 1975, the Honorable Walter Kelleher, had a vision to change downtown Malden by putting local government where you stand in front of today. There were several groups of opposition, especially being the downtown merchants. They figured to be put it on Pleasant Street. I've been on the Malden Police Department 23 years and a police officer 15 of those in patrol on the streets of Malden. Unfortunately for me, I have in the past had to go to people's homes where one of their loved ones were killed. I was the one, my fellow are the ones that have to notify the grieving parents or let them get his killed or seriously hurt from well, let me say this. I don't like to do things. It's part of the job to do. But we'll do it because... Lincoln! Bill! Lincoln! Bill! Lincoln! Bill! Bill! Lincoln! What this is all about, what the city feels to tell you... This is all about our voice. That's right. What we have here is a situation the city feels to tell you in regards to public safety, and I have a document that Michael's getting out of his vehicle now. In the last 10 years, the 3 streets around Ferryway Green, Ferry and Upham, Ferry and Cross, and Cross and Walnut had over 200 motor vehicle accidents recorded up and through this date, with just last week alone on Friday when we were standing together that morning at the corner of Cross and Walnut, a young girl, 11 years old, on a bicycle, was hit, struck, and taken to the hospital because of her injuries by none other than a school transport van. Well, you look at those buses, kids will be coming from everywhere, and you won't have one ambulance. They'll actually outnumber the buses, because that's how many kids are going to get hurt. This is what it is, Ferryway, don't hurt the kids. The city had this document, none of you were aware of it. They didn't let you know about it, because if they had, nobody in their right mind would even think of building a school at the Ferryway Green site. I'm going to roll out a document with over 200 motor vehicle accidents in the last 10 years at that site. Why do we want to say Ferryway Green? Because it's the right thing to do. 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 There they are, folks. Documented evidence that the city is let you know about the most important issue. Public safety. If your kid doesn't make it to school because he's under the wheel then you're not going to be able to educate them. This is what it's about. I'm 6'2" and there's doubles my size. Here it is, folks. The city's been unmasked. This is all about the kids. Put the school at Lincoln. Forget the personality between the Ferryway Green Group and the city administration. Do the right thing for the Ferryway Green site, for the people of Lincoln, but most importantly, do it for the kids. I don't want the blood on my hands. Let it be on the city administration if they make this kind of mistake. Build that Lincoln! 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 Change has a voice! Change has a voice! Change has a voice! Last night, when we attended the council meeting, I found something awful amusing. They try to shut us out of the public process. That's your building. Again, working for you. You work for them. They work for you. Now, that is the same council. The council that wouldn't let you speak last week, voted themselves and signed in a pay raise of $3,000 a piece. That's the council that wouldn't let you speak. Now you tell me what's wrong with this picture, folks. I'll tell you what's wrong with it. City Hall becomes a king's palace.
How you doing?
If you upset the king, you need not apply. Well, let's take back City Hall. Let's take back Hall. And let's take back the Lincoln School to where it belongs. It's a Lincoln site. You notice something that's missing here, folks. I'll leave you with this. You might want to talk to you here. What you're missing in this picture, think of where's Waldo. Well, you're not going to find Waldo in this picture, because Waldo is your politician, your city official. Waldo doesn't want to be found, because if they're found here today, what are they going to say about this document? What are they going to say about you people? They had this group as being just a handful of people with Sue Thompson. Sue Thompson has done an admirable job. Sue's not going to quit. You're not going to quit. We're not going to quit. Let's get it back in Lincoln. To discuss the issue. Is that what this reminds you of? Well, let me tell you something. There is a process once again. Those people work for you. You elect them, you pay them. For them not to speak to you, I hope you remember. I hope you remember tomorrow. Get on the phones. We'll all call your counselors, call your school committee members. Remember in November. 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 Another issue. I noticed the police are here today. I'm a police officer myself. Another issue that they fail to tell you. Kind of an interesting story. In the last 10 years, we've got heavily into community policing, and it's gone a long way. As our officer tell you, they need resources. And what they did to do the job, to educate the kids, where they went into the school, they created police leagues, junior police, they went to the youth, to turn the youth before they went bad. But what they'll tell you again is they need resources. And what's one of the most valuable resources we have for a kid today? Well, I know the parks are number one. Ferryway Green. Now you tell me, folks, when you put the fence around Ferryway, the Edith Street Park is already blockaded off. You're going to have a serious problem when all these parks are gone and they're all full. And the kids will be now hanging around, making lawns, alleyways, downtown, and you know something? Maybe now or maybe later, I'm the guy that'll have to clean up the mess the disadministration created. Save Ferryway, it's for the kids, it's for all these. You know what this is all about.
Don't take the mayor's word for it. We want that school in Lincoln. We know our neighbors and friends. We have got to convince them to build in Lincoln. It is the right thing to do. They have got to listen to our voice.
If you remember, some of you that don't, the woman wants to mention the annual school. Something similar happened here over 10 years ago. Let me give you an update. They took the annual school, instead of rehabbing that school, then the city saw fit to give that building for a very cheap price to then Senator Jack Brennan, who was a friend of mine, but at the time he bought the building very cheaply. He rehabbed it when the city...
When the mayor talks about shifting this site, let us not forget that his own architect has said and changed the contract for the contract that just got signed the contract. It will not have buildings down at Lincoln are going to come out of your pocket. They're not going to be reimbursed at 90%. The only way they get reimbursed is if they build a school at the Lincoln site.
We're going to get out of this simply. The current administration, the councilors, and the mayor were all aware that we'd be here today. It's incumbent upon them as your civil servants, your elected officials, to be here to speak and listen to what your needs are and your complaints, and listen to over 20 solid issues on why that school should be put in the Ferryway site. In respect, the mayor is not giving you not one solid reason why it should be put in that site. So you've given them a notice. They were aware last night at the council meeting when they wouldn't let you speak. They're going to be aware from today. I noticed the media's here. The Ferryway Green Group is not going to go away. And let me say this. Councilor Simonelli said this is all about Ward 7. Well, I live on the other side of the city. It's all about Malden. I told you all before, you can contact me if you need me, I'll stand with you. But the bottom line is I'm going to leave you with this. Like I told you earlier in this speech, I've been there, I've given the bad news out. That you dressed up early in the morning, spick and span, you gave Miss Lunchbox, you gave her a quarter for lunch, and then you let her walk out the door, certainly expecting that child to return at 2:30 with a bag of homework and stars and all kinds of things for going to school. But you're going to get that right. Section in the city last year for bad accidents was ferried in court. Let it be clear, this is a document that the city has in its possession. So, I'll leave you with this. I'll be saddened by the fact that the kids are hurt, or possibly even death brought upon them because of an administration that didn't want to hear what was right. But what I'll leave you with last, when those parents sue the city of Malden for something that could have been prevented because this group has told them how it could be. Well, once again, folks, unfortunately for us, we get the double kick. Because when we win that $4 million settlement, it's going to come out of everyone as taxpayers in this community, whether you like it or not. We won't have to live with the grief because we've tried to do everything we could to make reasonable, we might have aggravated, but reasonable accommodations by showing them that they're in design to put the school in Lincoln. Well, folks, there'll be no blood on this group's hands, but that group, the mayor on down, who you don't see here today, let the blood be on their hands. Put it at Ferryway and put it at Lincoln.
It's important that the mayor hears us. We do have a voice, and unlike the city councilors, I believe the public ought to be able to talk, and as many of them that want to. Many people showed up last night to speak, and only one tonight. So it's time that people have a voice, especially in Ward 7 and Ward 1. And let's not forget school is the reason that the mayor and the city officials of Malden got 90% reimbursement to build these schools. And we're right off Ferryway Green and build it into Lincoln. Build it out. Build it into Lincoln. Build it out to 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 Lincoln.
Thanks for coming today. If need be, we'll be back tomorrow, Mayor. You can run, but you can't hide. We will not stop, Mayor. You make the hard decision. Do what you're supposed to do. Here, kids. Come on up here, kids. Tell them your hand.
You are a writer?
No, she's coming with us. We're going to drop her off.
Fire the mayor. This is
No.
Fire the mayor.
Sorry.
Get along with this. Fire
This
Mayor
policeman?
Howard. Fire Mayor Howard. Fire Mayor Howard.
I'm very, I mean, this is really nice.
I didn't think there'd be that many, but it was good.
We're gonna walk back. Let's get on that pony. Save our park.
But he's not interested in help.
All your representatives.
Do you want to still
We're
take
going
them?
around the building to all the folks on the way home seeing some of the keys. You're all already. Let them know what's going on here. Save our park.
Where are they going?
Howard didn't come out.
My face for about 10 to 12 seconds.
Just stopping by. Don't forget to give your name and number to somebody so we can stay in touch with you. So many people who care about trees and about parks. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
My house. Get my bike.
this way.
Hey, Bill. Mr. Beard.
We ought to agree with this plan because it never came up for referendum. 2 years ago, we went to City Hall, to a city council meeting, and we asked them, put this plan on the ballot, and they would not do it. They refused to put it on the ballot for a referendum so that the people of Malden could decide instead of a handful.
You're right.
Our elected officials are not listening to us. And let's make it perfectly clear. The handful of people that decided that we, the members of this community, Ward 1 and Ward 2, and Ward 1 and Ward 7, where this park sits, the handful of people that decided we would be the ones to sacrifice a park, we would be the ones to see a school built on it that will not service the Ward 7 community. We will be the ones that have to wait 5 years for a replacement park that will never be built because it's going to cost $2 million to the taxpayers of this community. It's not going to be reimbursed at 90%. It's not going to be done because it's not part of the school plan. But the group of people that made that decision, not one of them was a representative of this section of Malden. Not one of them lives on this side of town. That's why, in the southern tier of the city of Malden, we have lost 2 parks. If you include the Eden Street Park in Everett, that is now going to be a 950 pupil school, in this small area of Malden, we've lost over 17 acres of open land. 17 acres. And nothing to replace it. They talk about replacing this park with a park at Lincoln, but they double count because they don't count the fact there's already a baseball field there. No, that's part of the replacement parkland because some little law says that if it's part of a school ground, even though it's an open playing field, it's not parkland. Forestdale, they're taking a 1-acre park. They're saying they're replacing it because they've taken tax title property that already has basketball courts on it, already has swing sets on it, and they're saying, we're adding this, so now you have more parkland. They're not adding parkland in this city. They're stripping us of the only natural resources we have. And we don't have the right to have a voice? Well, I think there's a problem.
I mentioned the children being killed by the cars several times. Well, the Ferryway group in the city of 2 trees, 3 trees, that's tree sacrifices. The environment has already suffered those tree sacrifices. The lives will come later, those will be more sacrifices. The people that live around this park's property values, when they plummet, will be another sacrifice. All right? And let me say this. I played at this park. I swam at Revere Beach. They took away the public beaches years ago. You can still swim in them, but they took away your amusement parks. Disney World's not the answer. Revere Beach was good enough for me as a kid, and now it stands nothing but empty condos and ugly sights. Well, years ago, the Daniels went just the way of the Lincoln. They didn't tear the Daniels down. That's now condos. We'll go down and take a look at the Lincoln, because if this goes where it goes, if the mayor has his way, Mayor Howard, you'll be looking at no parks in Ward 7. You'll be looking at a national condex complex, complimentary of It gets the Daniels from the city for a Leonard School on Pleasant, right across TV, the same group. We'll get rid of it. We're going to give that school back to the community for community activities. That now sits the site of professional condos. So what this is all about, you lose your park, you'll lose your kids, we've lost the trees, and you're going to get condos, just like Revere Beach. This is all about America. This is all about us.
None of us did, because we haven't had any say on this.
It's nice to see us all here tonight, but we got to make a message perfectly clear. Sue and the Friends of Ferryway have fought this long, hard battle. It's a marathon. We're now at the base of Heartbreak Hill. We're going to make it up Heartbreak Hill, and we're all going to go down Heartbreak Hill into Kenmore Square together. Mayor Howard, Councilor Simonelli, Jim Hennessy, who lived in that blue house right over there where that great car sits. His mother raised his entire family in that home. Do you think that school would be being built today if he was living there as a kid? I don't think so. So as we're going down Heartbreak Hill, Howard, Hennessy, Councilor from Ward 1, Ellie Cushing, all right? They're going to be picking up Heartbreak Hill, and we'll be in Kenmore Square. This is all about us, folks. Mayor Howard doesn't think like you. They don't think like you. Malden is the people that are here today. Mayor Howard is not one of us. We voted him in, we can take him out. You voted in Simonelli, you can take him out. It's up to you, nobody else. And we can win this fight, and when we're done with this one, we can win the next fight in November. This isn't an issue of mayor now. Let's win one fight at a time. I was taught by the masters. Pick the fight you can win, fight them to the end, win them, go on to your next fight. Right now, this fight, started by Sue Thompson and the Friends of Ferryway Green, is yet to be done. But now you got the media. Monday you'll have national media, and believe me, I'm not going to give you false hope, but they'll drag us out of here before we end the fight, because we'll say when the fight's over.
I think another thing that everyone has to understand is when we went into court, that was for an injunction. We have a lawsuit pending that won't be heard until 1999, July. We didn't get the injunction. And the main reason we didn't get that injunction has nothing to do with the law. What it has to do with is a concerted effort and plan to basically lie. That lawyer for the city of Malden stood in front of that judge that day and said they were not going to remove the trees around this promenade, they were not going to destroy this promenade, and therefore they were minimizing the damage to this neighborhood. Well, guess what? There are 3 trees chopped down here, 300-year-old trees. I want to know how it is that a lawyer can argue in front of a judge telling a story like that, and then a week later have chainsaws in this park. And people have to understand that. This is about the truth. And if they were telling the truth, they would be here. If he was telling the truth, he would have come down from his ivory tower at City Hall Wednesday when over 100 people went there and asked him to talk to us. But he didn't come down. And that's because they're not telling the truth.
A wise man once said, those who speak the truth never have to remember what they said. Well, let me say this. All right, let me say this. When Sue was trying to seek an injunction in the courts, along with Billy Best and the Friends of Ferryway, everybody was busy running around trying to get the court system to do what it's supposed to do, not wind itself in with the politicians to block the people out. Well, what did the city do? The city chose, under the cover of morning darkness, to start disassembling the tot lot. They went after, not us adults, not people that can fend for themselves. They went after the kids, the little tots' toys, and removed them. Now, you tell me, how does that ring in your ears for credibility? We marched or walked in a demonstrative manner very peacefully Wednesday evening. The mayor's response and his credibility, as Sue has mentioned to you, the lies. What was the response? I'll teach them at Ferryway. 1 tree for Dennis Sullivan. 1 tree for Sue Thompson. 1 tree for Mr. McQuirk. 1 tree for Doug. There's 4 trees. That was his response. Well, Kathy, you stay up that tree, because they're not taking that one. Doug, you get back up your tree. They're not taking that one. And there's plenty more of us here to fill the rest of them, because he's not taking any more while we're here.
I want to give everybody a little history so that they understand that what we're fighting for is the right thing. And it isn't just the right thing for us. It's not just the right thing for this neighborhood. It's the right thing for the city of Malden. It's the right thing for the legacy that we are going to leave to the children that are growing up here now, to the families that are going to move in here when we move out or die. I mean, this is for the future of this community. This park has serviced us for 100 years. It was sold to the city because the city was trying to take it by eminent domain, by a wonderful family who for years, when they retired from farming, shared this land with the children of the neighborhood. For years. And when they died, they said that they would, because the city was trying to take it by eminent domain, agree to sell it to the city so that it would forever remain a public park. They were able to get into a court and break that deed. That is what we're dealing with here. So the next thing we try to do is look at this from an environmental standpoint, from the historical significance of this park. This park, which was designed by the firm of Frederick Law Olmsted Sr., the same person that designed the Boston Common, the Emerald Necklace, Central Park in New York. This is one of the very first urban towns in the country. In the country. We have historians from Washington who did affidavits for us in our lawsuit. We aren't lying about the historical significance here. It's just that we value it more than the people that are in control of this city right now. It is an affront to me that this mayor ran on the fact that he was going to create historic districts, and the only one they're thinking about is the one in Ward 3. But they will rip down a Frederick Law Olmsted designed park, an urban playground. They will rip it down. They would rip down the BB Junior High School, even though it was eligible for historic registry, after it was approved to be renovated. I mean, this is about the quality of our lives. It is about the reuse of our public assets. It is about the value of our community and what a natural resource means to us. We are a landlocked community. We are overly populated, densely populated. And this particular area of the city is all multi-family homes, apartment buildings, subsidized senior housing, housing developments. We don't have front and backyards, people. This is where we play. This is where we meet people. This is where we recreate. It's more than just deciding whether you build a school here or a park. There's no need to disrupt this neighborhood because we want the school. We want the new school right where our other schools sit. That Lincoln School.
Where it can be built tomorrow, Sue. You're
Exactly.
absolutely right.
And that Lincoln School has serviced this community and the very community that they're complaining about as a junior high. Historically, we've had 1,100 students attend that school at any one time when 2 schools were operating there. They're talking about building an 850 pupil school. Of course they can build it there. And there is not the same traffic congestion. We know that because the very children that would go to the school there walk to school. This school in Ward 7 has the highest percentage of children who walk to school. And they're asking us to send our 5-year-old children to cross Route 60 to go to school. So this school can service another neighborhood. It is an outrage. They haven't even considered the public safety of these children. And they talk about, we'll put up another stoplight. Reports that the city of Malden did in 1995, when they were fighting the MWRA, they went to the State Architectural Access Board so they could get a variance, so they would not have to have curb cuts along Route 60, Eastern Ave, right where we're going to have our children cross. And do you know what they asked? They said to the state, we don't want to have curb cuts. We don't want people crossing there because it's too dangerous for a reasonable person to cross. A few years later, our 5-year-olds can cross that street. Well, I'm outraged because I don't want my children crossing it. And these people don't have a choice. They're not the people that have two-parent families. They're not the people that have cars that are going to drive their children to school. They're the single parents that have their grandparents or their parents watching their babies. And I'm going to have an elderly person cross a 5-year-old across Route 60? I don't think so. This is important to you people. It's important to the health and well-being of your children. You cannot allow this kind of slaughter as far as I'm concerned. It's unbelievable. And we had no voice in it. Nobody asked us, do we want to give up neighborhood schools so our kids can be crammed into 5 850-plus schools? Nobody asked us if we wanted that. This whole country is turning around and going away from these huge magnet schools because guess what? They don't work. And Malden is spending $115 million to build 850 to 1,250 pupil schools.
Buildings don't teach people.
That's right.
Nobody has talked about what's going to be offered in these schools. They're building, supposedly, the high-tech school at the Roosevelt Park to service 1,250 kids. They don't even have the school half built. And they've cut $1 million out of the computer budget. So we're going to have a brand new high-tech school with no computers. It's unbelievable. So people, you have got to have your voice heard. I can't stress it enough. They are not going to listen unless people barrage them with phone calls. Ask him the question in public. Like, is your kid going to cross Route 60, Mayor Howard? Your 6-year-old, is he going to walk across that street to go to school? I don't think so.
With his child, because in his fancy little Volvo, what he's going to do is drive, or his wife, Lisa, is going to drive his child down Salem Street in a bottleneck. It'll take him a half an hour to get by the high school at 8 o'clock in the morning. Then to get by the Roosevelt at 8 o'clock in the morning. Then try to get through Maplewood Square to the charter school that he's putting at St. Joe's. Now isn't that something? The mayor came to you via vote about this 5 new school, $98 million project that wasn't going to go according to Henry Janetti and Billy Spatafora. Billy Spatafora, the councilor from Ward 3, who wants to sue you all for challenging the issue, documented, quoted in the Malden News. All right? So here's the mayor selling you. Talk about snake oil, folks. This is a true snake oil case. He's building with your tax dollars a $98 million that is now at $115 million 5 new school project. Well, the first school online will be the Roosevelt. The second one online months later will be the BB. Mayor Howard lives the distance from where I'm standing to Walnut Street from the new, brand new BB that he built. And what did the mayor choose to do? He's going to send the city of Malden a message, the confidence he's going to have in his new school. He signed his child up for the charter school, and he was accepted spending you. I'm going to spend $115 million of your money, and then I don't even have the faith in the system to send my own kid a block to the brand new BB with all its new computers and everything else. What's he telling you, folks? He's telling you you're in a different league. You need not apply to his country club. Well, we're not only going to apply, we're going to show up at the gate, and we're going to go in the country club whether we go over the wall or through the gate. A little Christopher here, I just met, a little friend of Ferryway, brought up a good point. It's funny how the kids even think, because kids think as much as we think. They stole the tot lots, probably his little brother or sister's tot lot. But he mentioned the trees. What about the trees for the kids? I've been listening for 10 years, from the President Reagan to Bush, now for the last 7 years of President Clinton. Do the environment a favor. Plant a tree. Well, the wizardry of Mayor Howard, well, the last 3 presidents over the last 15 years wants us to plant trees to help the environment. He's gone and taken, Flipper brought that up, not me. That's the youth of America. You can't blow smoke and mirrors on them either. Nobody's stupid here. This is all about one out-of-control administration. It's not going to stop at Ferryway. The next project will be a high-rise condo complex or an industrial park. With the power of eminent domain, it'll be your neighborhood next. It'll be your homes. Believe me, they won't stop at the school. When they need a bag of money, it'll be your home next. Roughly 40 years ago, and I don't make these stories up, I speak them from my heart and my memories. 40 years ago, as a 4-year-old kid, my 2 uncles, the mayor's uncles, my Uncle Leo and my dad, his Uncle Mickey, were in a semi-pro baseball league that was stationed at this park. They played all their games here. We have family photos of those games. This park was overfilled with people. It was like a small Fenway, all right? Well, the mayor sat in that audience along with me, my brothers, my sister, his brothers and sisters, all right? Well, let me say this. A lot of people have asked me, why would you even say anything bad about your cousin, the mayor? Well, let me say this. As a family member, I live and die by family. But if one of my brothers went out and did something wrong, molested a child or did something this egregious, I'd have to look my brother in the eye and say, brother, the blood is coarse, is thicker than water. His granddad, his mother's father, and my grandfather, his grandfather. I'm sick of going to the grave to visit him and having to bring a rake. The reason I bring a rake, because every time I go there, my grandfather's rolling in his grave, and I have to re-rake the dirt. I have to apologize for the Sullivan family one last time. But I promise you, we will make sure he's the only one, because we'll stop him and we'll bury him. Not literally, but in another way, politically, once and for all.
Let's not lose sight of the fact that we're building 5 K-8 magnet schools, all of which will house 850 to 1,250 students. We now presently have 9 schools, 8 ward schools, 1 centralized middle school. That doesn't count the BB Junior High School that was closed prior to this, or the Brown School that was closed prior to this. Now, anybody can do the math. All of these public properties, all of them, are going to be closed, with the exception of 3 school sites to the The math is easy, folks. What happens to the public properties, our properties? What happens to them? Who gets them? Who gets those properties? Are they going to be used for teen centers? Are they going to be used for health centers? Are they going to be used for recreational areas, for early childhood programs? I don't think so. But that's a question you all better start asking yourself, because piece by piece, these properties are going to disappear. And they're not going to be disappearing for the good of this neighborhood or any others in Malden. The Brown School, which was designated, believe it or not, in their own plans, their own 5-school plans, the Brown School was supposed to be the replacement parkland site for the Roosevelt Park. that they have cannibalized. Well, after they got their permission to take that park from us, they have now traded people, not sold, but traded our piece of public property, the Brown Junior School, for 3 acres. 3 acres of contaminated land that the developer could not develop without cleaning up. And that's going to be the parkland for our children. That's what we're getting in place of that piece of property. That's what we're getting. And you people need to raise your voices in disgust, because this city is going to go downhill fast.
Sue has emphasized on all the other dozen of issues. The mayor has none. Why to put a school here? So there's taxpayers and parents, uncles and aunts, mothers and fathers. I raised the point of child safety. Yeah, it's a fact. I'll be the one that has to tell you, I'm afraid, being a police officer, we'll have a child killed. I can promise you that. But now let me hit the other sore subject in all of our lives. Certainly can't parallel a child safety, but the other issue is taxes. Now, a $98 million school project that we were sold on by Councilor Henry Janetti, Billy Spadafora, Richie Howard, and that crew. The crew, remember, a small group. He mentions you as a small group. I just mentioned
small,
three.
insignificant group. Let's not forget that word. We're insignificant.
So, 1 second. Oh, you can speak next if you need. Well, anyway, I lost somewhat of my train of thought. But getting to that issue certainly is taxes. Again, starting at 98 million, we're at 115 now. When they built the Roosevelt, or they're presently building it up at the Roosevelt site, they ran into a water problem. Nothing of the magnitude of this park that along when it was built by design to be a floodplain for the roll-off of the hills of Ward 1. Well, last week when we had the typhoon weather, anybody that rode by here would see that the entire Ferryway Green Field was underwater. Now let's get back to taxes, folks. This is basic arithmetic, folks. We're at 115 now, before we even drive a stake into the ground at Ferryway. All right? Well, to redesign the engineering and the underground here for that floodplain, I'm not a contractor, don't claim to be, but I am a common sense person. Just on that issue alone, there's no doubt it'll cost roughly $2 million, I've been told. Just to stop, to redesign the under Ferryway Green to handle the water problem. That's before we even get into the folks, when this whole project's done, I predicted on TV a year ago, it'll be well over 130. Let me say this. They're going to try to force a Prop 2.5 down your throats in about 3 years. It's going to fly in Malden. And let me tell you something. Australia is nice this time of year. You better get on a bus to the airport and fly away, because we're going to be buried up to our necks in taxes. And that, you know, are two things that you can't escape in America. Death, and it'll be our children's, and taxes, it'll be yours to pay for Mayor Howard's gross, and I would say malicious mistake. So that, folks, is an eye-opener. Your kids in your pocketbook. What are other issues you want to talk about tonight? I think we've touched base on all of them. Go ahead, ma'am.
Hello, my name is Rosemary Murray. I live right up there, the third house off of Walnut Street. I have looked at the most beautiful trees in the park. Just 2 of them. One, this morning came down and it's gone. The tree! It is the most beautiful tree that God has put on this earth, and it's
going to be able to put that tree back. You can get all the super glue in the world, it'll never grow again. And the other most precious thing you have, other than the environment and the beauty of the trees, is your children. Unfortunately, when one of them is killed, and God forbid, I don't want to be there, it'll happen. That's the other thing you're not going to be able to replace, because you can't bring them back, or her back, or that tree. Little Christopher here wants to say something to you from the youth of the group of Ferryway, the Friends of Ferryway. Go ahead, Chris.
I just want to say, does anyone have a coin or something? I want to show you something.
Speak up!
A coin. Have a coin or something.
Stop loud, Chris.
I got a special coin a close friend of mine years ago, another fighter I was. And he saw me on my knees, and he told me I'd get up another day. He's not an overly religious man, he's an attorney friend of mine, a friend. And he gave me this coin. I've always kept it with me when he gave it to me, and on this coin it says, whatever it takes. Do what you gotta do, Dennis, whatever it takes. That's what this is all about. Whatever it takes, we'll put a stop to it. Here you go, Chris.
I just want to say, see this coin right here? This is metal. That's what they're building a school from. And if they build a school with metal, they can destroy something that kids can't have fun with. And I always thought I was going to have fun in this park, but I can't because they're turning it into a school and they're tearing it down. Now, trees give us oxygen and all you know, but I think trees are more than just like climbing up and having fun on them and stuff. But I just think that trees are the most like things important that in nature that they should have. And this metal that they're building the school from, they can probably build metal on a tree. And either one, they can crush the tree and they can not grow them back. No matter what you do, you cannot grow trees back. But even if you have a magic seed or something, you cannot grow trees back.
Let's hear it for Chris and the Friends of Ferryway. Let's hear it.
Hello, everybody. My name is Bruce, and I want to talk to you about what we've done today. We had an action this morning where we had people up in trees, and the news media came down. And what I did today was I wrote a news release, which I faxed to the entire nation, to CNN, to the AP, and to the Boston. Can you hear? Ah! Okay. What I want to talk about is the action that we had this morning. We had people in trees. We had the media here. We faxed things to all parts of the country today. I sent this fax, which I am about to read to you, to CNN, to the Associated Press, to the Boston newspapers, television media, to the radio stations, and we had results today. The results that we had, I was in touch with the AP. They're interested in a story. It will be national. The last story we had 2 weeks ago was published in the LA Times. This is the facts that we sent. Protesters chained in trees at historic playground. After a construction crew destroyed a number of 100-year-old trees at Ferryway Green, one of America's oldest playgrounds located in Malden, Massachusetts, 3 protesters chained themselves up in trees, ready to be arrested. 2 friends of Ferryway Green members, Kathy Moore and Douglas Moore, as well as a local police officer, Dennis Sullivan, decided to protest Saturday morning after no other options remained to save this green space. The playground is enjoyed by more than 53,000 people in a suburb north of Boston. On June 17th, a Superior Court judge ruled to deny an injunction sought by this grassroots group to protect the park. Judge Raymond Broussard's decision enabled the city to go ahead and destroy the playground and build a new K-8 school on the site, even though a trial to determine Ferryway Green's fate is set for July 1999. Last week, the city awarded the new school construction contract to R.W. Granger and Sons of Shrewsbury, Mass., and subsequently deeded the land to the construction company for the duration of the building's project, with instructions to prosecute trespassers to the fullest extent of the law. Members of the Friends of Ferryway Green contend that the playground's destruction is totally unnecessary, since an alternate school lies only 780 feet from the playground on existing school department property. The environmental protection system of this state has melted down, said Bruce McQuirk, a spokesman for the Friends of Ferryway Green. Ferryway Green is one of the nation's oldest playgrounds. Designed in 1894 by the firm of Frederick Law Olmsted Sr., the landscape architect of New York's Central Park and Boston's Emerald Necklace, this 4.8 municipal playground is one of the only early examples of a complex model playground that has survived intact. Malden officials have refused to listen to urgent appeals to save the playground made by citizens and national and statewide conservation groups, including the Sierra Club, the National Association for Olmsted Parks, Historic Massachusetts, the Trustees of Reservations, and the Environmental League of Massachusetts. Malden is the 5th most populated city in Massachusetts and has less than 70 acres of parkland. Ferryway Green is the only greenery in Malden's Ward 7 available for baseball teams, elderly walkers, children, and young mothers. This is what we have done today. We have made a voice and we've had an impact that has reached far and wide. We've already reached today 2.5 million people in Greater Boston. If we work on Monday, we may make it with more people.
Well, I know I'm going to be sitting in the middle of that park. And when they finally fence it off and tell me I have to leave, the magic words are going to be, if you don't, you're trespassing. And my magic words back are going to be, how can I trespass on my own park? Yeah. And they're going to say, well, it now belongs to Granger. And I'm going to say, Granger, never heard of them. This is our park, and we're not going.
A lot of people have asked how they broke the deed to this park that says it is to forever remain a public park. Very simply, laws have been passed in the last, about 1960, and those laws were pro-development for a lot of reasons. And the problem is that a lot of deeds, such as the one here, had what they call reversionary language in it. And that language in a deed is when, or a will, wills are the same, is when you put down in a public trust that you are deeding the property over to the city for the use forever to be a public park. And then the next sentence reads, and if the city ever uses this land for any other purpose but a public park, it will revert to the original owners and their heirs and their heirs and their heirs. Well, in the 1960s,
not the city of Malden,
they passed laws that claimed that when reverter language is in a deed, it's no longer a public trust. It's no longer, people, a public trust. They no longer have to honor a deed 100 years old because they decided that when you put the words, it will revert back to somebody that you didn't trust them. Well, guess what? Does anybody wonder why? Does anybody wonder why you would put that in a deed?
we don't trust Malden.
I have one thing I want to say. I've been carrying around a baseball. You can see it. It's very well worn. It's all dark with dirt. It's been in a few games, just like this particular park. It's had a few games. I brought this as a symbol because this park has significance for baseball. One thing that I brought along also, which I'm going to hand out, and I insist that Seamus Kearney, are you here? Yes, sir, there he is. who is our resident baseball historian, gets a copy of this. It's an article from 1921 from the Malden Evening News. It's about how baseballs were handed out here that were autographed by Babe Ruth, by Governor Fuller. And I want to just hand this thing out and let people see what happened here. This place has a very illustrious history that needs to be preserved as much as the park needs to be preserved. Thank you.
I'd like to give you another little piece of information you might not be aware of. Forever in Massachusetts, on the word forever, only means 99 years. So, it is so important that people try to stay aware of what is happening. We need to have this mayor change his mind, and it's never too late. They're going to have to pay $2 million if they live up to their obligation, which is to build a park at the school. And I say, spend that $2 million bucks, move the site, redesign what you have to do, and we still break even. We still break even.
How about the babies, the kids? They're home from school. Have the kids come down here.
Oh, I just remembered something I wanted to tell you. When the first article came out, just to give you a little history on this, February 22nd, 1996, headline, Malden Observer, bold new school plan. And in that article, it said that the mayor and his newly appointed municipal building committee, made up, by the way, of 5 men, none of which are from this neighborhood, 5 men that were handpicked by Mayor Richard C. Howard. Those 5 men are the ones who have voted every single turn of this school plan. But when that article was in the paper, they suggested that they would be taking Dever Park, Malden, Ferryway Green, Malden, Roosevelt Park, Malden. 1 week later, Dever Park was off the table, and the BB school became the site for their school. Want to know what? That's fighting for years, 2 years before one time was spent on the plans to build here. 2 years, citizens have gone to the mayor of this city and said, move the site. Why weren't we listened to? Why why wasn't this neighborhood given the same respect that the Dever Park neighborhood was? I can only suggest that 2 of the 5 people in the voting committee that decided where these schools would be sited were from that neighborhood. That's all I can suggest.
And I suggest you take a rock around it. Looks like a golf course now.
100 years ago, the people that wanted to make this a public park were called lunatics. People were into development, build a house, build a factory. We don't need open space. But the Hitchings family wanted to do it. A small group of people wanted to do it. They got a prominent family involved, which is money and prestige, and they got the job done. They were told they were lunatics. 100 years later, we have this park because a bunch of insane tree-hogging lunatics 100 years ago, and you can read it, wanted to do something for me. They didn't know me. They didn't know me from a wall. But they knew there would be a me, and there would be a you and your grandchildren. That's why this is here. So when we come here Monday morning, we're coming here because we're a little insane. We'll be a little late to work. So what? So we come here a little early in the morning, and we do what we have to do. And then when we go home at night, we can say, we did our best. Hopefully we saved the park. I want to save it. There's no excuse not to build at the Lincoln School, which was used as a K-9 school for 60 years. 9, K-9. How many kids was that? I went there. There were 600 students in the old building alone. We were all very well educated. I got a college education. There's no excuse for not building at that site. And when the state legislatures and the senators, they ignored 2,000 people. They said the city can break a land trust, the city and the mayor can do whatever they
call your friends, call your relatives, call your enemies, call everyone, and have them join us. Because the more there are, we're strength in numbers, we'll prove it. We're strength tonight, we'll only get stronger. So before I leave you, I want to thank you for myself. Sue will take over along with everybody else. And I'll tell you right now, don't let Sue and the friends at Ferryway down, because this is all about you, and you should all be commended. But the fight won't be over. Say it's over. So come on, folks. Be
Sign the petition if you'd like to before you leave. We need every signature we can get.
Where is it?
It's here, and also Veronica McClure has some. Wave your hands and the petition. Please sign if you want to. Also,
everybody stay put, folks. The media has just arrived. We need the media.
yeah! Woo! We also need some people all day long. Hey, you! Yeah, okay. We also need, on Monday, all day long, to have a couple people on each side of the entrances of City Hall, passing out these flyers, to let everyone know, to inform them, because many people in the city don't realize what's going on and how our life is going to be very different from theirs. And if they knew the facts how it can work, then maybe they'd come on our side. So we need to have some people, like maybe 2 people on each side, and we'll take turns a couple of hours each on Monday all day long. If any volunteers interested, come on over, okay? You got to sign up.
Tune it in, and I'll be there representing you, calling in, and I'll be there Monday, and we'll keep pounding their people. They'll be so sick of us when we're done, they'll build a school in another city. Yeah. Show you how we can stop this. Save Ferryway Green! 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 Build that Lincoln! Build that Lincoln! Build that Lincoln! Come on, I can't hear you! Build that Lincoln! We have a right to be heard. We haven't had that chance. Let's all gather in a moment of silence. A moment of silence for 4 deceased people. One being that elderly woman on the way to church 4 years ago at Crossing Ferry, when she stepped off the curb, was crushed by a trailer truck and killed. The other, more silence, and we'll join together, for the young girl and the 2 middle-aged folks that were killed in Jetson Square, less than 100 yards from where you stand, off the corner of this park.
Save our children! 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 Save Ferryway Green! Save Ferryway Green!
Completely, in my opinion, you're not trespassing. We'll speak with the sergeant, see what he says. But if the police attempt to ask you to leave, just stand by on my directions and we'll get back to you. But if it gets to a point where a large amount of police come, go to the center of the park. The center of the park.
No trespassing sign? No.
No, sir.
Is this park fenced off?
No.
I'll tell you.
The
Bottom line is, I asked him about cutting the trees. The only trees they should be cutting today is handle what's left over on the ground. I asked him about the trees marked with the X. He says they were ordered from the mayor not to cut any more trees down. That's just telling me what they said. Listen to me what they said. Until they check with the architect. They also have a bulldozer on the way as we speak. Should be here in less than a half an hour. I informed them that we technically wouldn't be trespassing until the fence completely around the park, and that we would not leave even at that point. They understand to get arrested or whoever it is, I am, and do everything we can to stop that process. But we need to get more people to step from the crowd to be like group leaders in case we have to fragment and take groups to a tree if they want to start doing different things. In other words, if they want to divert our attention. So for right now, we're probably a half hour away from some sort of a demonstration. Have your coffee. These gentlemen have been friendly. Once again, they have a job to do. They're going to do their job. We're going to do our job. The police will have a job to do. They will do their job. Yes, Buck. If there's any question about that, anybody has any questions, ask them now. Raise your hand.
How are they planning on getting the bulldozers in?
I'd imagine they're going to bring it right through over there, or they'll, you know what they'll do? They'll just keep driving it around until we get out of the way.
That gate's locked, isn't it?
Yeah, they'll drive right through the fence. They'll drive right through the fence. If you lay in front of the bulldozer, and you think it gets within 5 feet, I have this advice for you. You don't know who's driving it. Shame on you. We do things as a group if we can, and then if it comes close, the police will be here. They'll stop the driver, but I don't want to see a single person harmed. Hopefully, this will be a finale. Maybe the mayor will see some sense in all this. But anyway, do not leave. Do not do any violence. These construction workers are only trying to do the job. And believe me, they're not going to leave until they're told to leave. And there's only one person that can tell them to leave, and that's Mayor Howard. Yes, the union. And once again, they don't agree necessarily what's going on, but once again, they have families to feed and they're doing a job. And once again, we have a job to do, we set out to do, and we will finish that job. Those of you that have become arrested for trespassing, let me give you this information. To be released from the station, it's a $25 fine. You have to have identification. Then you'll be released. I would strongly suggest to anyone here, not to insult anyone, some people don't realize you might have warrants on you for minor things like traffic tickets that you forgot to pay, whatever. If you're arrested for trespassing, it's a misdemeanor crime. What will happen is the process is this. We'll be transported to the station, possibly right directly to the courthouse if there's a large number of us. They'll do what they call a booking process. They'll ask you everything from your mother's, father's name, your name, SS number, date of birth, etc., etc. You'll be advised of your rights. That process normally takes probably 20 minutes. It's a 20-minute process. This isn't television. It's not a major crime. It's a misdemeanor. You will not be photographed. They have the right to photograph. If they do, that would only be in the purpose of if they feel there's going to be further demonstration, they'd like to know who basically the real friends of Ferryway are. And if they haven't figured out who they are yet, so if they do the right thing, and I usually tell them how to do the right thing because the supervisors, the captains go through, they'll probably transport you all right to this courthouse in a large group. they'll do what they call a central booking at the courthouse to go directly in front of the judge. It'll take roughly, in a large group, about an hour. So it's $25 deal and an ID. If there's any problems, I'll stand with you. I won't let you down. I'll get you out. Obviously, they can only make suggestions. They can't do anything to speak for the mayor. So as of this point, if we can get at least 4 people to come out of the group to be group leaders, we'll have a cup of coffee. Once again, try not to use profanity. No violence. If there's violence, I'll be the first one to assist the police in arresting you. I am still a cop, and I have the right to power of arrest. If I see anybody take a swing at a construction worker, I'll be the first person. If anybody resists arrest by hurting a cop, I'll be the first person on your back. That's perfectly clear. I'm with you people. I live and die for you people, but I'm a cop first. Anybody hurts one of my people, then you'll have to deal with me. And believe me, you don't want to do that. I can turn very quickly. Now, let's have a cup of coffee.
Dennis, I have a question.
Yes.
What happened? What happened to my children?
I wouldn't recommend that because unless you have somebody here, it'll take care of your kids for an hour or so. They'll take your kids and they have the right to bring them under state control. Don't do that.
Let's go, everybody. Oh, no, listen.
I do regret those things, and I put money to their ships. In perfectly good shape, they closed down. They're going to do it till next one year.
And you know what they're going to do? Lincoln, they're going to sell some office buildings. But you know, Lincoln down there isn't that old. Because I remember seeing it burned down. They have no permits. They have no signs up here that says not permitted.
Violence, so I told them if there was any violence, there was a bulldozer when I was doing my backyard. Bulldozer back up, there's at least 30 years that won't have to worry about Ferryway Green anymore. Where's the coward? 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 Where's Seminole? Where's Seminole? Where's Jason? What's your name?
Come out and talk to us, insignificant people!
Mayor Howard, you can do the right thing right now. trucks to start putting up a fence down at the Lincoln site will all go away. Well,
It only took an hour to take the tot lot. Let's move this site.
I know the construction crews only are doing a job would have no problem going another quarter of a mile down the road to do what they have to do. And believe me, guys, it would be just as easy, less traffic on you.
Build that Lincoln.
When this school's up in the first semester, I'll bet you money, I'll promise you a kid will be struck, possibly killed, going to school here at the Ferryway. This is wrong, folks. Let's stop it now.
And don't plant farmhouse. Look at the notice in the Boston Globe.
Hey, and they put in the tree, you see them, and the people paid $1.50 just to see them.
That's right. And look at the $14 million just to do that. To put massive a major artery underground so we can reunite the Lincoln Park. What the heck is Malden doing? Malden says that it's no problem.
The man mentioned over the weekend on Channel 4, 7, Fox, after I went on and told the people that the child would get killed at this place, in the next frame, anybody in the crowd willing to sacrifice one of their children's lives?
Where's the mayor? Howard ran a campaign of historic preservation. What kind of history is he preserving? We'll remember in November.
Remember, everybody.
In 99. Remember in November. 99.
Where's the trespassing sign?
Where we went on the way up.
Put your house on the way up.
You're the one that's going to get a short order in the arrest.
Howard's a coward! 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 Howard's a coward!
The rest of the police come when you're going to get ready to be placed under arrest. Leave up. They say trespassing. I can't figure it out. The gentleman with the camcorder, do me a favor. Camcord this group now. Make sure there's a date and time on the camcorder. And camcord where the fence ends and begins. That's important. We need it for documents for court. Make the open space. Make sure you document where the fence has been erected. Also note there's no trespassing signs on the fence, date and time. That's important document.
Arrested for what? Where's Mayor Howard? Where's Mayor Howard? Where's Mayor Howard? Where's Mayor Howard? Where's Mayor?
Whether I'm running for mayor, whether you're running for mayor, city councilor or Ward 7, Ward 1, you better remember, because I'll tell you right now, I will raise this question again. I will stand in front of the polls with the link signs, and I'll tell you, they're going to remember if it kills me. I don't mind getting locked up, but I'll take the day off in jail. They're going to take the rest of their careers off as politicians in Malden. They're probably in the front and the first. Keep a close line in front of the bulldozer. Let them work to arrest you. Don't resist arrest. Just the groupiest, when they come to lock us up, walk across the other section to the furthest point to the park. If they offer, if they're going to arrest you, put your hands behind your back, offer no resistance. I don't want an officer hurt here. I told you I'd join in if I see an officer being hurt to assist the officer. But let's go to the opposite corners of the park and let them have it a walk yous across and walk yous around. I'll stand with the bulldozer, and then the rest of yous keep a fit line behind the bulldozer, and the rest of yous try to go around the park as much as we did.
When he first gets arrested, everybody line up behind him. That way, it's flushed out. So the bulldozer can't come in, but yet everybody peacefully being arrested.
that wagon.
The process this morning, if it was a normal process, you'd talk to him to tell him.
Who went with me on this day.
If you're afraid of the process, you won't get locked up all day in jail. You'll be in and you'll be out. If you want to move it, it's up to you to take a chance because you're being a police van or a police car. The possibility of spending some short time in a jail cell. Don't get involved if you're going to get sick. It's imperative. Nobody gets harmed here today. None of us, none of the construction crew, none of the police. I do not want any violence or any injury. This is key. We've come a long way. If we continue the way this is going, maybe we can stop something. But don't deputize yourself, my officers, or the construction crew. I'm very proud of each and every one of you. So I just wanted to say
do you know where he is?
He's at the Ferryway site with 150 people.
If I give you my number, do you think he might call me? Okay, hold on a second, please.
By the way, folks, note your time. It's 8:20 in the morning. 2 weeks ago, as I spoke to earlier, when Simonelli wouldn't let you speak, they voted themselves a $3,000 pay raise, the council. The mayor got a $20,000 pay raise. Well, it's 8:20 a.m., and he's not in his office. Come on, man, this is a joke. He's probably home for his own tree because he heard that we were going to try to cut it down. That's
A couple of years ago, that the city of Malden got federal funds to put a little tot lot in, right over here. They took that federal money, and the federal government said, when you put that tot lot in, you make sure that disabled kids can get around that tot lot in their wheelchair. That elderly people can go up there with their walkers and see their grandchildren. Well, that's what the city did. But when they took the tot lot out and reinstalled it, they violated the law.
Over there too.
Here he goes, he's going.
Where you leaving the tower?
They got the street blocked up. They can't pick up the trash. No, we're not getting away from it. We don't want it in the back.
I'm sorry, honey. Everything. Here's the people that are going to suffer right there. That's my shit. Oh, my God.
Tell Maria Molo I had a conversation.
I hope somebody took your hands on a barbecue.
And have them vote. He secretly, said, well, we're going to tear down the schools and everything. That's awful. To everybody trying to...
We want schools, but they don't belong in this park. They belong in Lincoln. We're in the schools. All the mayor's office. Not only for us, but for our kids.
So just be ready. The more police, the less people, then they'll have the numbers to make an orderly arrest. So what the tactics are being used here now, it's a classic tactic, and it appears to be working. So you want to go across the park and get everybody in this group together. That's what you might want to do. Outnumber them, because it's just a short period of time now before she'll be making a move.
What's that? The power to your action. And Mayor Howard has proved it through his action. He told us we needed to go. That's the proof of his word.
Because all you're going to be doing is taking pedestrian accident reports. Call Richie Howard, Skipper, and tell him to take a look at the traffic, for Christ's sake.
Number one, he's not sending his kids to that school. Number two, he cut down 4 30-foot trees that are over 100 years old. What kind of environmental science and historical lesson is that? Second of all, he wants to take your park instead of building at building at Lincoln. What kind of engineering lesson is he sending them? When you know what Archimedes did when he sat in the bathtub. The bathtub overflowed, and that's what will happen when they put the school in here. The floodplain will overflow into all our houses that are to the bottom of the hill, just like Bruce Howard. And he has no We've got every kind of culture, every kind of race here. They're talking about desegregation. Living in segregation working. And day in, day out, we play together. We enjoy each other. Keep it. Diana, yes, he's getting 90% reinforcement for desegregation because of our kids. Because of our kids that play together in this park. But he wants to take the park away and send them across Route 60.
I want you to understand that what you are doing here today is not illegal. Now the bottom line here is the next one to go is Hunting. So we will fragment and we will get out of there and that'll be our next battlefront. The mayor might win this one battle today, but I promise you, he has lost the war.
Where will our kids play? There's one here telling me he doesn't know what.
Take the flag, take the national floor. Well, Mayor, we got a battle here. We're not going to go away in Hunting here. There's going to be a larger battle with more people, and we'll have to lend these people with us. You remember, Mayor, what you say? This is only a small group of people. This is only two Congress. This is only a government against government. I see a lot of people here for that two Congress against government, Mayor, so we'll see you at Hunting. And I'll be glad to go through the process. Penalties for that to be, I told you who will represent all of you. I'd be hard pressed to believe. But I'll tell you what, if it's a year in jail, I'll miss this Christmas and I'll be back for next year. So I'm ready to go, folks.
We've got somebody, this little boy is telling me he doesn't want to be arrested. And I said to him, the only way that I can't get arrested is if the man calls out the bulldozer.
Chief, can I talk to you? I know you're acting on behalf of the city as right now the most prominent city official on scene. The people would like to know, they feel that at least Mayor Howard should be on scene, or at least the city councilor from this ward, so that at least they'll get fair representation before they're arrested. I know you're going to do what you're going to do, but I mean, you know the process, Chief, and I'll be on your shoulders. And I don't think it's fair to you or the police department to have to take the hit for Mayor Howard. I think Mayor Howard should be here and give the speech you just gave and tell this group that he gives the order through you to arrest these people. Because I don't want these people, I happen to know they respect the police, and I don't think you should have to be the bad guy for Mayor Howard. If he stands here and tells you, I'm ordering you, Chief, to order the arrest, then I think then the police department's off the hook. Because I know these officers don't want to do this no more than the construction crews want to be here. Would you please call them before you do that? I mean, let the heat stick. All right. The order stands. The chief wants to take the hit. Let it be known now that Chief Richard Coyne will take the hit for your arrest. Oh, except for the few rats that get taken care of around here, and they will be gone, John. You want to lock me up, John? Go right ahead. I'd appreciate you putting your cuffs on me. Cooperate one day, you'll be my next victim. And if you want to beat me in cuffs, John, go right ahead. I can beat you with my legs and my hands tied behind my back. Of course not, Skipper, because Kenny Coy, the mayor's buddy, wouldn't let it happen. Let him put cement in Fellsmere Pond, Skipper, where you live. How would you like it, Skipper? Don't be off there, fine. And this wouldn't be happening. Come on, this is class warfare, for Christ's sake, Skipper. I live in the Fellsway too, Skip. And my heart and soul's in Ferryway. I was born here.
Never mind racial discrimination, that's class discrimination. Because we haven't got the money to pay high-trained lawyers. My people, our contingency money. The contingency money for the schools that were paid for
they've been listening here, so. Ryan? Well, let's say you are this, folks. You know what you're doing here. You're not going to do it here. Remember what I told you. I have you right. First of all, let me make this point first here. This park is for an open space. It's registered by the city being constructed. You can see it ends halfway over there, and Cross Street is designed to take you over to Upper Street. So anybody, any old woman getting off the bus that wants to watch the bus, not ever has any right to do so. Trespassing, you have the right to assemble here. Because if they can take you down, Ryan, you go down the third, they can go down the Devil Park today, Ryan, the entire baseball. All you're doing here, folks, is making a point. If you want to get a kid behind the field, bulldozer go over here and walk around the field. You don't have to do this. So if this is an unlawful assembly, so would be a big baseball game tomorrow without a camera or another pack. So, hey, all right, so you have a problem with this. All right, do what you have to do.
Charlie, with those marks, not too tight. There you go. Okay, watch your head.
Well,